Hey guys, welcome friends and family. My name is Skylent, and I've been playing MOBAs at like a semi-competitive level for about 5 years now. About 5 years ago, I played a couple of MOBAs. I was forced to play them actually because I just joined Free MMO Station. So I was doing, of course, free-to-play multiplayer games, and MOBAs were like super, they were getting big, dude. There was a lot coming out, man. The boss there was like, "Yo, I know you've been doing MMO reviews, but let's do some MOBA stuff, okay?" And I was not happy. I was new to being a professional YouTuber, so I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll do it. I'll go out of my comfort zone. Maybe this could be cool, I guess." But I was extremely biased against MOBA. Okay, I'm somebody who really liked MMOs specifically. I thought they were deep. I thought they were big. I thought they were explosive. I thought they were awesome. I just thought the combat was just better overall. Bigger, better. I did not realize how deep, how impactful, how amazing MOBA could be. And this is just gonna, I'm just gonna immediately come out and say it. The reason that most people, and you, okay, I'm gonna talk to you. The reason you're not having fun with MOBAs, most likely, is the fact that you're probably just ignorant of the real game. You literally just don't know MOBA. And I know that's hard to explain because a lot of games you can kind of immediately tell if you're gonna like it or not. But I think that for me, it took me 100 games. I believe I realized I finally passed 100 games, and I was like, I did not realize I passed 100 games. I was not complaining too much. The game was Dota 2, by the way, that I passed 100 games. It was the first MOBA that I really, really got deep into. And it was just so complex. I was always learning something. So every game, I was trying something new. I was trying something different. And I was kind of just learning the fundamentals of the game, which was, it seemed super boring, dude. Click to move. It was a lobby game. So every game was like, I had to, re-level my character. I had to, redo things. It was a lot of repetition. It just seemed, on face value, it just seemed like a boring board game, which to me, again, then, I actually didn't like board games or anything like that. I didn't like slow-paced games at all. I liked fast-paced, big, epic, I liked Battlefield. I liked World of Warcraft Battlegrounds. I like stuff like that, man. That was really what I was into. I don't know. All of a sudden, I was having fun, and I couldn't quite put my finger on why I all of a sudden was having fun, or I didn't realize that I started going from like hating the game and just like I had this such bias against certain players and how they played, and to an extent actually my biases and your biases aren't completely wrong, but I slowly started to transition and realized that the game, like what we hate or what we hated about the game, what we did not like, what we disliked about MOBAs was actually, it's sort of just like, that's just the bare bones of the MOBA. That's just the fundamentals, just the absolute bare bones and basics. But there is a whole world, a whole universe, man, a whole nother game layered on top of what we thought was just, a single map, a few characters, a few items that everyone memorizes, all the repetition. That's just the fundamentals, man. There is so much more. There is a meta. And then that's also something that a lot of people don't like too. They have this bias that, everyone just does the same thing, memorizes the same items. To an extent, that is completely true, actually. That is completely true. But then you're playing, that's just the bare bones. And if you lose to that, then, well, you need to at first learn your fundamentals. And that is a big problem with MOBAs. It can be kind of difficult to get into them, to kind of understand them, and that's obviously why you're clicking on this video, because you don't understand MOBA. Obviously, they're popular, so a lot of people really like them, but there's also a good number of people that just can't get into them. They're kind of hinged and stuck. They're hooked on their own biases. They're hooked on, they're coming from different genres, and they're kind of expecting certain things, and they have these biases against certain players and stuff, and I understand that. But you aren't understanding the like overarching goal of a MOBA, the actual like the meta, the invisible game that you can't see. It's not on the surface, and you have to break through that surface before you understand the game whatsoever. And like I said, it took me over 100 games to finally start getting MOBA. And that was in Dota 2, so those games were fucking long. It was like 40 minutes to an hour. Hours long, dude. Okay, not hours, but over an hour. Those were long games, but there is a lot to do. The itemization in MOBAs, the leveling, the actual, the build order, the skill order. Some MOBAs do it differently, like the talent tree system in Heroes of the Storm. And yeah, now if you're trying to get into MOBAs, you have so many different MOBAs to get into. So I'll tell you a game that actually helped me get into it. Dota was pretty cool, but Smite was the game that really kind of opened my eyes to MOBA, because it wasn't point to click, it was action based. And it actually, at the same time, though, even though it looks and plays very different, kind of a little bit, it feels different to a standard MOBA. The truth is, on paper, it actually is completely a standard MOBA. It has the standard itemization. It's kind of similar to League of of Legends. Its map is standard, its jungle is standard, all the roles are standard, the character abilities, while being very skill-based and aimed-based, there's still, nothing too out there, too ridiculous. It all kind of makes sense. If Smite was actually a top-down MOBA, it would probably be extremely similar to League of Legends. However, because they changed the camera angle and they added some slight tweaks to some mechanics, the game felt very action-based, and that allowed me to begin to understand the deeper game. Because I was like, yeah, dude, it's cool. You have to aim your skill shots and everything. That's pretty cool. That's pretty okay. Not as enticing as some other MMO or whatever, but okay, I'll try this. And then I got into it, kind of learned about the itemization, and I moved on to Dota 2, and that's when I began to fall in love, I guess, with the deeper understanding of MOBA. So anyways, that's my personal sort of a journey through MOBAs, and I think a lot of people have, similar stories, especially now if they're just now getting into it. Heroes of the Storm opened them up to MOBA because instead of having just one map, there's lots of different maps, lots of different objectives. It's a lot faster paced, gets right into the team play. A lot of people complain about games like Dota, where oftentimes you're just alone, you're just farming, it's very repetitious. Mechanically, it's not mechanically as an aimed, precision and timing based. It's a much slower game. It doesn't require as much precision. There's less skill shots. That's what I mean by mechanically. So all of that it's nowhere near intensive as like StarCraft, right? It's nowhere near intensive as an arena shooter, but there is a depth in strategy and there is high actions per minute. It's just as a new player, you don't really realize it. You don't really realize that you need to be constantly clicking through your different teammates to see what they're building. You don't need to, you don't realize that you need to constantly be moving your camera all over the map to see where the enemies are. You don't realize that you need to constantly be thinking about what you're going to be building, what you're going to be selling, because in Dota 2, unlike other MOBAs, you're constantly buying things and selling things and like dismantling items, and you're actually constantly also controlling multiple units a lot of the times with a lot of the different characters. So there's a lot that you need to be doing, but you don't quite realize that you could be doing those things as a new player. As a new player, you just jump into this game and you think that you just have this one guy, I guess, and you just click, the enemy thing, and I don't know, the game just plays itself. A lot of people really think that that MOBA just kind of play themselves, that there's not really wiggle room. Maybe they think that the only reason it's competitive is just because it's popular. But the truth is that MOBAs are competitive because they're fucking competitive games. Sure, okay, I guess a fighting game, right? It's 1v1, right? There's nothing more competitive than that. Except a lot of the game is a tremendous amount of memorization, just like MOBAs, the combos. Just to play fighting games, it's just memorizing combos. I mean, that's my bias against fighting games. It's just memorization, right? You're just memorizing combos. And of course, you got to execute them, but the timing ain't that hard. Of course, when you're actually fighting another player, it does get hard. But anyways, a lot of people can have biases against a lot of other games, but it seems like MOBA really get the brunt of it because it's like fighting games are faster paced, visually they're more explosive, so it's a lot easier to see, where the complexity could be. And maybe it's just more of a spectacle. But for MOBAs, they tend to be longer games, and all that explosivity kind of comes in bursts, especially Dota 2. A lot of the game is, there's a longer game. The pace is drawn out, and as a new player, especially since you don't really realize what you could be doing, it seems like it's very, very slow. But once you get to, actually up an appropriate skill level, once you understand the fundamentals of the game, once you get past that point, then you have so much more that you can do. You realize you can do more, and you realize just like how team-based it is, how you can be interacting with your team, how you can be interacting with the enemy, reactively or proactively with the different itemizations, and you can be creative. I understand that there is this sort of conception that everybody just kind of memorizes builds, that everybody, certain players are going to play certain characters, and that totally is, dude. Your personality, there are different people that have very, very non-unique personalities that do play certain characters, like Yasuo mains, oh my god, Yasuo main. I don't know if you've ever heard that. So yeah, that is a thing, in lower elos, in where just new players are just beginning to learn the game. But once you understand the fundamentals, then you can really start playing the game. But I will say this, guys, actually, the act of learning the MOBA is the fun part of playing a MOBA. I understand I just said that you need to master the fundamentals before you start really playing the game, but at the same time, everybody of all skill levels, even the top 1%, they're always learning, okay? And that is the fun of the game. So if you're ignorant of MOBAs and you refuse to play MOBAs, well, then that's why you're not having fun, because you're not learning the game, and that's the point of the game. To learn the game, to see what you can do, I know it's all set numbers, it's set items, they all reset. You know, different maps, different characters, but they're all set characters. It seems like there's no creativity, but that's just how it seems. You have to actually get into the game and try it out for yourself to really explore the game, try new things, be proactive. Yes, you got to master your fundamentals, do that as you play the game, but it's not the actual act of learning that is very fun, and that's why we continue to play. That's why we continue to master, and we do things that have never happened before in a game that seems and appears incredibly stagnant with its meta. The truth is, it's not. It's not at all. It's always evolving, it's always changing, and it's the players that are doing that. Of course, as well as the constant updates. You know, that's always fun. It truly is. It truly is. Learning the game and playing it one way and then playing it a different way in another year, new season. Absolutely. But, you know, before we even just go on an hour rant about that, I just want to say the probably most likely reason that you're not having fun with MOBAs is simply because you're ignorant, you don't understand the genre, and that's okay because most people don't actually. But you need to admit that and jump into the game and just learn. Just learn the game, and the act of doing that is incredibly rewarding and fun for any MOBA, any period. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Skylent, and you know, I think this lesson can actually be drawn out to any competitive game. Okay, with whatever bias you have, I think you should just jump into any new game and try to have like a blank slate, come into it with wide open eyes, and just try it, you know, full-hearted. Even if you think you're not having fun, just really give it a good, you know, 20 games or something like that. I know it's a lot of time to dedicate, but sometimes it's worth it. Thanks for watching, guys. My name is Skylent. I really do hope you guys have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.